Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mark Stock Review. Hope you're doing well. This video is going to be on Nano Dimension. My first video was back in October and there's been a lot going on since. This video is going to be on reasons why the share price has been declining, clear reasons to stay bullish, some opportunities to buy clearly laid out, and finally some catalysts to look out for in 2021. I'll keep the video brief and structured without fillers to respect your time, so a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated if you find the video helpful. That said, let's get right into it. Okay, first I'm going to lay out 3 reasons why the share price has been declining, 2 external and 1 internal. Reason number 1, they got caught up in the sell-off for growth-dependent tech stocks. Bigger investors are worrying about increasing interest rates and the opportunity cost as increasing interest rates eats into the present value of a growth company. And a high market cap company without significant revenue like Nano Dimension is going to be especially susceptible. Reason number 2, they're raising cash and planning to acquire a company. Both reasons why you would see downward pressure on the share price, albeit short term, because clearly it's a long-term growth strategy. And reason number 3, many CFOs are not allowing capital expenditures until the crisis has fully subsided. However, Nano Dimension's CEO has a solution for this one, which I'll talk about shortly. Okay, reasons to stay bullish. Reason number 1 is that Cathie Wood is impressed with Nano Dimension in the sense that she wants companies to sacrifice short-term profits to put themselves in a position to be a winner-take-all in a market due to artificial intelligence. And so when tech stocks do sell off, she reallocates, concentrating on certain names with her top 30-35 stocks. So any kind of selling with Nano Dimension does not mean she's no longer bullish. Reason number 2 to stay bullish is that they're establishing programs such as the AME Academy with the goal of providing professionals a way of understanding the use and benefits of their technology. And the first webinar was a success, and they focused on how AME digital technology removes the limitations imposed by the 2D systems and how it can be implemented in the era of 5G and how it can be used with medical devices. Third reason to stay bullish is that they have a long-term business model with 4 clear sources of revenue. Number 1, they sell their machines, such as the Dragonfly. Number 2, they sell consumables, such as ink. Number 3, they have maintenance contracts. And number 4, their nano services, which is very important. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in detail. And so if you remember when I said capital expenditure delays are one of the reasons why there's downward pressure in the share price, well, the CEO has a solution in the form of Nano's services. And so this is the CEO's workaround for those companies who their CFO will not release funds for capital expenditures, but they're willing to pay a monthly pay-per quote-unquote round of prototyping, which is a great recurring revenue source. However, that's not even the main benefit. The main benefit is that it's a way to keep in touch with their customers. So by the time their CFO allows capital expenditures after the crisis has subsided, their company is going to already know their machines and be much more likely to buy it outright. Okay, next I'm going to lay out 2 clear buying opportunities for Nano Dimension. Nano Dimension has a huge cash position of almost $1 billion, and some of it's going to be used to buy a Type B company. They're doing this for 3 reasons. Number 1, to incorporate Company B's tech into their own before they get too expensive to buy. Number 2, to eliminate potential competition. And number 3, to be used as a substitute for their own R&D. And to be clear, the CEO did mention they're not going to be using all cash for their acquisitions in order to make sure their management has incentives to perform, i.e. they're going to own stock. And so you may think, why would the share price drop if this seems like such a great way to grow a company and at the same time build a moat? The answer is bigger investors often assume companies overpay when they acquire another company, which is why you often see the share price drop several days after the acquisition. And so that's going to be the buying opportunity, the following days after the acquisition. Buying opportunity number 2 for me is going to be a very small window of time between the release of the earnings report pre-market March 11th, but before the conference call, which is going to be 9 a.m. prior to the opening bell. The initial numbers may look bad, which may send the share price down. However, the conference call is going to be very optimistic from my point of view, and that's going to bring the share price higher. So there's the buying opportunity. Next, I'm going to clearly lay out 2 catalysts to keep an eye out for in 2021. Catalyst number 1 is going to be a PR update of their release of their new model of their Dragonfly machine, which should be halfway through 2021 per their CEO. The new model already has the new name and the specs. However, per their CEO, they're going to release it when, quote unquote, there is someone to buy it, end quote. And so what he's referring to is the economics associated with the pandemic. And so you want to be following the news for the economic recovery and the reopenings, which should coincide with the PR update for the release of the new model. And I'm looking at probably end Q2, beginning Q3. And catalyst number 2 is going to be either an interview comment or PR update on the revenue ramp up associated with the new model release. And I'm expecting that late Q3, early Q4 of this year. In summary, Nano Dimension is clearly laying out a plan for long-term growth, which is going to provide investors opportunities for buying and catalysts for 2021. And as promised, I kept the video informative and structured, but brief and without fillers to respect your time. So a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already would be greatly appreciated. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll be talking to you very soon. Take care.